All right, so we're recording. Welcome to Designing Your Life with Career Forward. My name is Jamie Treadwell, and I will be presenting today on this topic. Has anybody heard of Designing Your Life? I kind of drew this from a book that I read. Yes, one in the room. Cool. So it definitely was pivotal for me when I was reading it during my undergrad career. It was required by a scholarship I had. And so I thought I'd bring that to you guys today. All right. So Designing Your Life, how to build a well-lived, joyful life. So this is the book. This is kind of where the inspiration came from. Like I said, it was required of me via a scholarship in my undergrad career. And so in this book, we have Bill Burnett and Dave Evans who show us how design thinking can help us create a life that is both meaningful, fulfilling, regardless of who or where we are and what we do or have for a living and how young or old we are. So nothing really limits you. There are no barriers there. And that's really what we're going to expose or talk about today. This is interactive, so if you decide to chime in, please do, because I am hoping to hear some perspective from you as well. Also with this, so Bill Burnett and Dave Evans were designers. That was their niche. They were architectures, and they were working with a bunch of students at Stanford. And this is kind of how the Designing Your Life came to fruition, right? They're working with designer students who really are just unsure of where their life's going to go once they complete. And so that's really where they decided to drive this. So we have, what is it? Sorry. So not a promotion, but a promotion for Amazon. We have it on Kindle for $13.99. We have the hardcover for $23.95. And then the workbook in this corner is the worksheets you're seeing. There's a ton of worksheets. So I'll probably do another 3 worksheets in the spring semester. But I really enjoyed this book, and it's a top seller, so it's worth it in my opinion. And it reads like a workbook, right? Even the regular book, you don't necessarily need the workbook, but the regular book gives you moments to pause, really reflect on what you read, and then how do you implement it? And so that's what we'll talk about today. So agenda of activities, you all grab 3 worksheets. So we have those 3 worksheets that we'll be working on. And the first worksheet we'll work on is the Love, Work, Play dashboard. So scooting along this journey called life, have you checked your dashboard? Have you checked in with yourself? That's really what this worksheet's going to be about. Our next workshop or worksheet will be failure log. Tic-tac-toe, you failed again. Now what do you do? So really reframing or relooking at how that try, fail, try success model works and how we implement it in our current standings. And then Odyssey planning. Odyssey planning was by far my favorite experience. And it really just helps you unveil like the other opportunities. So if you follow the path if you follow the path in your mind right now, where would you end up? And then there's a glitch because the pandemic, right? So now where do we end up? Now what do we do? And so that's kind of where we'll talk about that. So accepting where you are. First worksheet, love, play, Love, play, work, health, your dashboard. So let's start where you are, not where you wish you were or where you think you should be, but right now where you are. That's how we're going to do this worksheet. That first dashboard you're going to see up top is your current standing. So before even looking at the questions, even though you see them, do this dashboard real quick. If you were to rank or put your dashboard for love, where would it fall? You have 4 boxes there, so divvy it up real quick. If you're at home playing on Zoom, you can do this via the workshop I sent to you via email, or you can do this by just pulling out some notebook paper. Same for play. How much play do you have in your life right now? What does play look like? Work, purgatory, whatever we're calling it. And then health. Where are we at with our health? What's our standing there? Make sure you're giving yourself grace and being generous with this process. That dashboard, the good check-in right now where you are is good to know. And then where we expect to be or revise, we'll do that one at the end. So don't do the second one. After you complete that dashboard, go ahead and look at those questions. What do you observe? Are you being fair? If you could make one incremental adjustment, what would it be? What would you get if you could attain this revised level of balance? That's more of after. And then the incremental change could you attempt, or so what incremental change could you attempt to move in this direction? And what would it take for you to live this way by 2 weeks? You decide what 0 full is. You do not have to follow the 4 bars. You could split one of those bars. You could do 8 of those bars. When you're thinking about this, is your play gauge at a quarter and your work at a full or more? Anybody have that? Awesome. Others? Yeah. What about love? How are we feeling on the love scale? Yeah, we feeling good there?
Oh, good.
Yes. And what about at home and Zoom? How are we feeling on these gauges? What about mental health or your spirit? Where are we at with that, with health? Did you factor in mental health for this? Physical health also falls in that. And that's usually the given. But how are we feeling there? Yeah, that's pretty crappy, eh? Let's be honest, I call work purgatory and I love this job. But yes, like it can feel that way, right? And we just have to be honest about those check-ins. So when we say, you might ask what it means to be full. Really, it's up to you. Again, you are the expert of your life. The dashboard gives you a chance to capture your own awareness of what parts of your life are full and less full. It's really not, it's less full. It's really not 0, right? It's just not full. Today I'm consumed with finals. I can't play. I have to be serious, right? So again, you are the expert. You decide what this dashboard is. You decide if it's full, if it's less full. You get to make that up. So examples of some dashboards. We'll pick and choose with these folks so we don't have to share our own. So yeah, so we have quite a few here. This person's work gauge is at 50%, their health is at 25, but their love gauge is full. Any other things that we're noticing? I think there's one more. Yep. What observations are we taking away from these folks? Somebody gets a lot of play in their life. We've got less play up here. What are we thinking? How do we feel about this dashboard check-in?
There's not a lot of balance.
Weird, right? Not a lot of balance is what's being noticed. Any other observations?
There's just not enough play in our lives except for that one person.
Yeah, they're getting it all. I'm sending my play this way, I guess. So there's not a lot of play that we're noticing except for this individual. Anybody from Zoom, anything you're noticing? Can you relate? Does this look like your dashboard?
For me, I have a lot of going into work and not so much help or play. And I think that kind of, it shows like, not but mentally, it's kind of like, okay, I'm giving, like what the person said, it's not, there's not a lot of balance because I'm giving too much into one category and not making free time for myself for self-care. So yeah.
Yeah, no, spot on. And I think this helps me personally realize not everybody else has a lot going on either. Like their balance is off as well. I am not the only one who's cramming work and not really taking on play. So when we look at these and when we think about what Seneca just shared, so balance isn't there for everyone. What are some incremental changes we could make to increase play or to increase our concerns around health and love? We know we're gonna work. We got taxes. Everybody knows that. So I'm not looking to increase that. What about the other 3? What are some other changes or incremental things you could do?
Make time for yourself.
Make time for yourself, yeah.
Put the phone down.
Put the phone down. Yes, yes.
Learn to say no.
Ooh, I like that. Learning to say no. How would learning to say no help you with this?
I wouldn't take on as much.
There you go. Yes, no, spot on. Okay, wouldn't have to take on as much if I say no more often. What is something you could do within the next 2 weeks? So aside from the examples given, what's something within the next 2 weeks that you can do? I mean, we have break coming up. We're rounding out our finals this week, so I'm hoping some people are celebrating. Bring that play back up. What about health? Could you do check-ins over the winter break? Maybe some time without the phone, read a book that you enjoy instead of a textbook. Yeah. Rock on, go ahead.
Maybe watch like food prep YouTube videos so that I don't just eat out.
There you
all the
go.
time.
Yes, yes, food prep videos on YouTube. Utilize our resources. Let's tap into things we can do. Yeah. Do you think that would help with play or would that help with health? Is that kind of a play on both of them?
I think it's more health,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, play would be like going out into nature for a hike,
Ooh,
but that would be play and health.
yeah. Yeah, I could see food creating, like playing with your food, creating food. That could be playful as well. Yeah, I just created yesterday. It's called Alfredo gnocchi. I love gnocchi, and I was looking for something cheesy to put with it, and that's what I played in. So yeah, there's ways to do that with everything we already do. So things we're already doing, we know we're gonna have to make that food. How can we make it playful? How can we be more responsible about our health, and just those factors, right? Even pouring love into your cookies, that, I mean, makes them taste way better in my opinion. Awesome. So let's reflect on where we are. How do you feel about your dashboard gauges? We already went over that. Do you look balanced or out of balance according to your definitions? Does anybody define balance differently? No, we all, okay. Are any areas full or approaching full? Does that feel good or bad? I know work was full for a few.
It's full,
Yeah,
but it's not a good.
it does not feel good. Noted. Are any areas empty? How do you feel about empty? And how do you feel about that?
I don't have empty, but I do have some low ones, and it just makes me feel empty.
Oh,
Yeah.
good observation, Sarah. So she doesn't have empty ones per se, but they are low, and that doesn't feel good. Which area could use action, improvement, or innovation right now?
Play.
What was that?
Play.
Play. Any others?
Health.
Health. Nice. What obstacles might stand in your way? So in thinking about increasing play, what's stopping you?
Me.
Yeah, myself. I am my biggest obstacle.
Responsibilities.
Responsibilities. What's stopping you for help? What's stopping you from increasing help? Is it just not a priority at the moment?
Super laziness right now.
Yeah. You're just walking into break like, come on, I need a rest. I love it. All right, we went over those. And are there any specific problems you would like to tackle? If so, what are they? I really like the idea of food prep. That could address a lot of those if problems were the thing. Awesome. All right. So that worksheet we're going to set to the side because we're going to do the revised at the end. Next workshop, failing forward. So that failure log. Failure is just the raw material for success. Has anybody heard this before? No? It's kind of a cool way to look at failure. If it's just raw material, if all I did was slip, trip, and fall down that stairs, but now to be successful on the next stairs, I'm willing to take that slip every time. In high school, I was notorious for it. It's great. But that raw material of what failure can be or what failure leads to is truly success, right? We don't try and fail and try and fail and try and fail. We tend to come out on top with that, right? That model, that algorithm, if you want to call it that. So on this failure log, we're going to try it. So look back over the past 2 weeks. If you can remember, I can barely remember breakfast from yesterday, but if you can remember the past 2 weeks, let's look at a few things we've done. Where did you mess up? List your failures, then sort them by checking off one of the 3 types. So we have screw up, weakness, growth opportunity is the 3 types. And then any insight we might have taken from that. So capture your insights to help change things next time. So if we had to define screw ups, simple mistakes you made that you normally get right. You don't need to learn anything here. You just apologize and move on. What would you define as a screw up? Forgetting someone's birthday. Oops, I forgot. Monday was hectic. I totally forgot my best friend's birthday. So, okay, it's not, I need to learn it. I know it. I know her birthday. I just forgot it. So I'll apologize. I'll give her that belated birthday card and she'll be fine, right? Weaknesses, mistakes you make over and over again because of one of your abiding shortcomings. Your best strategy is to avoid situations that prompt them. What could be a weakness? Go ahead.
Running late.
Ooh, running late. Time management. Yes. Yes. So I intentionally set up my calendar so that this weakness is not as exposed. But at least I'm aware that that weakness of time management can be tough. If I can be consistent and present at 9:30, then I know before 9:30, I'm prepping this weakness to not be here. It is not going to be anywhere near after work starts at 9:30 for me. You could ask some of my coworkers and I put it on a resume. I am not the greatest functioning person before 9 a.m. I scowl, I am not friendly, I am not open. It's just, I've never been that way. But I know that about myself, and that weakness I help by padding my schedule a little differently, or making sure if I have to be here at 7 a.m., the team knows. They are well aware, okay, Jamie is not our engaging today, and make sure she wears her mask. That is a thing. So that's a shortcoming. Growth opportunities. So growth opportunities are failures that have an identifiable cause and available solution. We want to direct our attention to this type of failure. What would be a growth opportunity? Any ideas?
I don't know if this would be a growth opportunity or not, but it's something my son is learning the hard way right now.
Gotta love the hard way.
Yes. He had some issues with not turning in assignments and is failing one of his classes that he's sweating for his final right now on.
Ooh, so forgetting to turn in assignments and then having to sweat through your final, that could be a growth opportunity. What would be the available solution?
Turn in your assignments.
Turn in your assignments. That's right there. I'm growing by turning it in. So when we think of our growth opportunities, it's those options that we know there's a fix, but we're just going to keep doing what we know. This works for me. I'll scramble for the final. I'll sweat till the end. I'm good, right? But had I just been more proactive in my assignments, I would have had that done. I wouldn't need to grow from that, right? Awesome. So then insights, when we're thinking of insights regarding the lessons we talk about, or regarding the failures we talk about, they're the lessons you learn for real improvement. What went wrong? That's your critical failure factor. And then what could be done differently next time? That's your critical success factor. So when we look at our failures in this algorithm, what are some critical failure factors? When it comes to the finals, clearly I'm avoiding turning in these assignments as everyone else is turning them in just fine. What would be that critical success factor? Turning it in with everyone else. Any other examples wanting to share of your failures for the past 2 weeks?
For me, I put not listening to my body's check engine and pushing myself too far to the point where, if I didn't make time for myself, my body was gonna make time for myself. So I think that's a failure because I just wasn't listening to, the warning signs like, hey, you need to take a break here, take a 5-minute break or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's good. Yes. Yes. So that brings us to that critical failure factor. You're hearing your body go off, alarms are pinging, but you're not doing nothing. And then we have our critical success factor. Had I just checked in, had I just taken that 10-minute break or that moment to walk away, we could be successful in those moments, right? Any other failures to share? What about screw ups, weaknesses, or growth opportunities?
I'll share a screw if I did.
Bring it.
Oh my God, usually I am like the queen of attention to detail. My nickname's Eagle Eye. Doing my final payroll project, 6 total questions. Question number 2, I failed to see that there was more work that needed to be done at the end of it. So I lost 35 points on that one question alone.
Oof.
And that was because I didn't pay attention one thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I love the tagline of Eagle Eye, right? It doesn't change. That's not gonna change your nickname. It's just this group, right? We overlooked that extra work on that one question. Yes, it was a 35-point hit, but hopefully we've been successfully in the entire class that we won't have to worry about that, right? But also it gives us the moment where we don't necessarily need to learn something. We just needed to read it more. We just needed to dig on it. Any others? I have examples to show for this as well.
Wow.
You're welcome. No. Insights are lessons you learn for real improvement. Again, this is that algorithm, the critical failure factor to the critical success factor. So yeah, Lisa's B-Day, 1 week late, a dope. That's it. I can't do anything else but apologize, right? Termite thieves, they got me big time, but I really could have prepared better, or I could have put those things away so that termites would not be attracted to the wood in my home or whatever. Phone surprise. So growth opportunity. Start the call with hellos or check-ins or give an agenda. For those individuals who are working, a phone surprise can really throw you off, especially if you have designated times, right? This is when people can call me. If they call me outside of this, if you contact me before 9, like, have fun, because it's not gonna be the greatest Jamie. But it's a growth opportunity for me to go, hey, students really do want to talk at 8 a.m. I need to be better about being prepared or being ready for that conversation at 8 a.m. And then last minute budgeting, that's just a weakness, right? I struggle, I know that I spent that money, but I'll just go talk to the bank, whatever, right? So it's really just being mindful of where you're at and how you go forward. All right. Moving on to the next one, that failure log, I hope you guys get to fill out. You're allowed to come and talk with me after, but we're moving on to the next worksheet, which is my favorite. And it is our creating Odyssey plans. So there are lots of true, coherent, interesting, and different versions of each person. So rather than designing one life, I invite you to design many lives and imagine multiple ways you could launch the next chapter of your life's quest. So again, Odyssey planning is my thing. I randomly like to build these out. If I know that I'm just having a rough Monday or I know I'm having a rough time, I will go and build an Odyssey life. I'm a comedian, I'm living my best life, and Tina Fey and I are best friends. That I'm to that level of designing my life, because that's the point I want to go to, right? Like, I don't necessarily want to do the job or the grant reporting or the numbers of this. But if I were a comedian, I would never have to do that. So I go there. So when I think of this, we're going to try it out. Together, we're going to complete 3 alternative 5-year plans of your own, following the examples ahead, and draw your mind map of mashups if you'd like. So you can use the back to kind of create like, oh, I'm thinking comedian too, and this is who's going to be my friend, or things of that nature, right? How we're going to meet them, how we're going to get to know them. So an Odyssey plan should include the following elements: a visual graphic timeline of a 5-year career plan. So if you like to doodle, I'm a stick figure doodler. They're the best stick figures of this world. And that is my doodles. And that's the visual piece. A short headline describing the Odyssey plan with 6 words only. So on your worksheet, you'll have this 6-word line. This is the name of the plan. It's fun. 2 to 3 questions of the life alternative addresses. So in my comedian life, it adds to my humor. So for me, the questions would be, when would I have a low play gauge? My dashboard would always be full, so it's going to address that. And then I won't have to do the crunching of numbers. I'm just going to live vicariously on a plane. It's going to be great. And so that's my traveling, right? And excuse me, curiosities that might be satisfied for living this way. So I'm going to see so many different places and things. My curiosities will be full. And then your dashboard gauges. So think of your resources. Do you have enough time? Do you have the time, money, skill, contacts you need to pull this off? These are your dashboards now. And then likability. How do you feel about this plan? I love it. I just want to be Tina Fey's best friend forever. And move along, Amy Poehler. Confidence. How confident are you about pulling this off? I'm pretty charming. I could do that. And then coherence. Is the plan consistent with your work view and life view? Absolutely. So for some help, plan 1 is your current life. Your first box up top, that's your current life, the idea you've been nursing for some time, right? The one you're currently in. I'm going to school, I'm gonna be a nurse, an accountant, I'm going to be the best of the best when it comes to my field. Plan 2, it's that thing you do if suddenly, number 1, we're gone. So all of a sudden, pandemic hits again, you guys can't come to school. What are we doing? What's gonna change? How are we ebbing and flowing from that? Plan 3 is the thing you do if your life, you do, or life you'd live if money were no object. There's my comedy. Full on comedian, because money's not an object. I don't have bills, not when I'm a comedian, I'm on a plane all the time, I don't have to worry about that. So this is one that I found online that was really colorful, kind of speaks to it. So they're in their junior year, they're taking art classes and clubs, their resources pretty high. They really like this plan, and their confidence pretty normal. Coherence, it makes sense, right? Other people are gonna believe it, it's believable. They're doing their art classes, then they're hoping to go into their internship, do their experience, graduate, gain all the skills. Then they're in their first year of job, probably going for a master's, they're applying for that. Specialized ideas, graduate schools in the works, they're networking, making friends, and they get that real job offer. They call this becoming a museum curator. Don't know why they want to do that, whatever. Not gonna yuck their yum. And then what internships might also offer a 1-year work experience before attending graduate school. So kind of that perspective, right? They really love this artwork that they're doing, and they're hoping their graduate school is going to enhance that experience. Did that help? All right, so that first top layer of designing your life, you're gonna do for your life currently. I'm gonna take the internship, I'm gonna work for my son, I'm gonna join ACC full-time, like whatever that looks like. Go ahead and jot that out. And I'll have examples to show as well. Again, these are not questions about the plan, but curiosities that might be satisfied by this life. If I remember correctly, my first Odyssey plan was completing my undergraduate, getting a bachelor's. Took me 12 years, so it was a big, colorful piece for me. Then my second Odyssey plan was after completing my undergrad, going for my master's, and then creating a family of some sort. I don't know, that's what would happen, I guess, if my plan 1 didn't work. I'm still gonna finish some sort of degree. In fact, I'm gonna finish a second degree. And then my plan 3 has always been that comedian. You know, I'd start stand-ups. I have plenty of material from all the student loans of my graduate and undergraduate career. So I just have all this material to play with. And so that's where the comedy would come in, because clearly everything doesn't matter, because once I have money, I'm just gonna be funny for the rest of my life is my plan. Really good at it. I'm just gonna keep fostering and nursing that plan.
Well, I'm traveling with you.
Yeah, you got it. Career forward, we're all together. Put them on the plane too, first class. Because I'm without, money's not the issue there. United knows me, they know me by name, just like they know Tina. Ta-da.
Seneca has a question.
Go ahead.
So is plan 1 supposed to be like what goes on in your life? Like the main events that go on? Like for me, I put like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I go to ACC full-time, I work for those things, like what I'm working towards.
Absolutely. So if your current goal is to get your bachelor's, that's your plan 1. Plan 1 is I'm gonna get my bachelor's and have my dream job from whatever my bachelor's is. So yes, what you're currently doing, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm taking care of business at ACC, gonna knock out my associates next year. And then I'm gonna roll right into my undergrad because that's what I need is my bachelor's to be successful in cybersecurity. And then from there, your last box would probably be your dream job or the title or role you're hoping to get with your bachelor's. Or your associates, if you're just stopping at ACC and going forward and hoping experience comes from internships or work-based learning occurs, that's definitely possible and doable too.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. And then plan 2 would be if all of that just kind of disappeared. If ACC absolved itself, would you go then to CCD? Would you then pivot and go straight to the university? Would you say to hell with this? I'm gonna just follow my kids and live with them, live the ways of the earth, you know? Like, what are you doing in that second plan if ACC were just to absolve? And then the third plan is if money had no options, like you had all the money in the world, silver spoon was delivered to your doorstep, publishers clearinghouse came in with that check, you were good, you do not have to worry anymore, you could be a loaf. I know people who would choose loafing. It is so cool. I'm like, just loafing? Yeah, man, I'm gonna go sleep on somebody's couch. I'm like, all right, bud. I'm not yucking your yum. I love that for you. You enjoy it. Who am I? Mhm. So then I have some examples to show. We have resources here, pretty good. She likes this a lot. And the confidence is there. I don't really know about coherence. She doesn't know either. But she's using what I know, helping kids. It looks like this individual works with kids. They have a 501(c)(3) for kids that's then going to lead into deeper connections or curriculum is what that looks like. Let's see if it goes away. This will then give you the scale. It'll be able to scale your service and deliver impact while increasing their kids who are served. They then can start this family tree project where they are also doing the don't forget the family piece of this kids work. Paris vacation is coming out of that as well. Home care, they're going then to the Galapagos Islands. I was like, this lady's doing a lot. And then if she went back to school, number 1 year, then it would take her a second year. And by that second year, she's ready for graduation. And the final point for all of this just kind of leads to writing a book. Because that's what she knows, right? Helping kids. All right, this one. So to degree advisor, outcome of degree after graduation. The 6-word title, they only gave it 3 words, the paved path. Pretty common, right? We know exactly what we're supposed to do. We've been told since high school, you got to go straight to school, right? This person did the same thing. So graduate with a PhD, go on to their postdoctorate, then they're a professor, clearly in their mentorship. Then if they were to go a different route or to add this on, they're doing engaged with the wedding bells. By their second stage, they're married, and then they travel with their main man, which then lets them settle into their family. That's cool, that works. Some people like that. And then the last one for them is time towards hobbies. So they get to spend more time towards their hobbies. Money is not the issue at this point. They're singing, they're writing, they're baking. They blog some recipes, travel videos, things of that nature. And then it looks like they might have a restaurant from the work they're doing because they have all the money they need. With resources here, looking like they have quite a few resources. They really like their plan for the most part. Confidence is there as well. Coherence, it flows effortlessly, right? Path of least resistance. All right. So all in the Silicon Valley story. Do I have what it takes? Is my idea good enough? Will I will I attract VC money? So the Silicon Valley money. Resources, pretty good. They like it. Their confidence is there. Their coherence is there. Like it flows enough. So let's see, for them, they have their positive idea and they found some co-founders who are then going to help them raise money to get more money about this, which is then going to lead to their hockey stick growth. And then they're going to go public because that's what they're developing. It's in a beta product as well. And then they get their second, I'm not sure what that says, second round or second proof. You could sign up as a personal trainer, then run a half marathon. That's their second plan. Then they're gonna climb Mount Whitney. Then they're gonna hike the Pacific Coast Trail. My grandmother actually attempted that. It's pretty intense. So yeah. And then their last one, family, I guess. Like if I had money, I'll just take them to a Hawaii vacation and we'll just go around Australia, the Sydney vacation. And then it's where they do the family and heredity package, I think. But yeah, just kind of like, it could happen, right? All of these opportunities could definitely happen for these individuals, as well as for you. It's just a matter of mapping them out and seeing, hey, I could actually create this extra piece, or I could layer on these additional things. So the last one here, design a business model, brand it, make first investments, then they grow their portfolio, they refinance, then they have a staff of group or of grows, and they expand, development, they're overseas. This one is then they're gonna pitch to investors, secure their investment, so without having to do the design model, they're gonna do their podcast and blog around it. They're also gonna develop management and weddings business. They'll refinance as well for that portfolio. They're gonna serve about 8 people, and yeah. And then their last one is designing the portfolio fully with property contacts, building a team, having senior management, then moving into commercial investments overseas, right? Resources, pretty good. Their desire or likability is there. Confidence is there. Coherence is there. This would be property for social good is the title. Thoughts, ideas? Anything you're pulling from these examples for your life?
Hawaii.
Yeah. Please take me to Hawaii.
And then on to Australia, please.
Yes, why not? I mean, if money is not an issue, let's just go around the world. So let's reflect on your plans. Which plan excites you the most? 1, 2, or 3?
3,
3?
my 3.
Yeah, your 3. Well, of course, I hope it's my 3 too, but whatever. All right. So plan 3 probably excites us. Why do you think that is? Is it because of the money is not the issue, or what you
Yeah.
have planned for your life 3?
Life is a struggle, and if you get, if you get to spend your last years, for me, I'm a little older, and then going into retirement, would just be nice to be very comfortable, and I want the mountains and the ocean, and I'll be good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that,
So
right?
that's exciting and something to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, and you could definitely bring it to fruition, right?
Yes.
Because we're still pretty young that we're gonna work a little
Yeah.
bit, but we're aware what's coming, right? What am I planning for? What's gonna be out there when I'm done with working?
Yeah.
Which plan feels draining? Which one's just drawing the life out of you?
I would
It's
say,
like 12 years for your undergrad. It gets you. Go ahead.
I would say okay, so I actually said plan 1 excites me. Just shocking, I know, because I just don't like the idea of being handed to everything. I think that just stems from my upbringing, but I think working for where I want to get to would excite me, and 3 would actually drain me because it's like everything's handed to me and I feel like I wouldn't have worked for anything, and it just kind of just like it just would feel mentally draining. Like what did I work hard for? So I'm actually the complete opposite. My plan 1, where I'm at currently, although it's stressful at times, it excites me because I know that I have an end goal. And 3,
Yes.
just being spoon fed everything would just be really for me personally, it'd be draining.
Right. It would feel inauthentic, right? It wouldn't be organic enough for me.
Yeah.
If money just sprouted from a hole in my floor, I'm not gonna say no to said money, but I'm definitely not bringing people over to said money because I need to figure this out, right? Is this because I've done something good? Did I hit the money pipe? Or is this because I need to pay for something else? Right. So that inorganic, it doesn't feel authentic enough for me if they just showed up and handed me money. That's why my work in my plan 3 would be comedian, right? So yeah, defining that, you don't necessarily, it doesn't need to be somebody just handing you money, but I do like that you're willing to do the work. You know that about yourself, Seneca, and that you're working hard on that plan one. Yeah. Which plan plays it safe? Which one's risky? So 2 questions. Which one's your risky plan? Which one's your, I know I'm gonna knock this one out, I'm not worried about it.
Well, where I'm at currently, but then I'm thinking about going further with that too, so, probably plan one where you're at right now,
Pretty safe?
what you're working towards.
Yeah, that feels pretty safe, right? Because you're already working towards it. You've already checked in with everybody. You're in career forward. I have scholarships set up. I'm not worried about this. This is my safest plan. When it comes risky, plan 2, plan 3, if ACC absolves, well, that's a little risky. Well, what would I do next? And then if plan 3, if I'm just given money to do whatever I want to do, if it's hobbies, if it's comedian, if it's, I didn't hear any of y'all's, I'm sorry, I didn't ask, but yeah, like if your plan 3 is just something that you're like, I don't know, but I would love to do that. If I could just make one hat every day, ta-da, that is the life I've lived, and that is why I'm paid buku money. So yeah, it's those risky moments of where you're deciding, is this really right for me? Like it puts you on edge. But when you know what you're playing safe, when you know what's set and really already set and made for you because you've done the work, that feels a little easier. Yeah. What do you notice as you reflect on and compare your dashboards? Are there any preference, or excuse me, are any preference criteria becoming clear to you? So when it comes to those dashboards, on the Odyssey Plan, confidence, likability, coherence, resources, any of those kind of low that you're like, I wouldn't know how to make hats. I don't even know where you buy yarn. What? Any of those where the resources are just low, or you're not necessarily liking it? I know Seneca, you mentioned plan 3. You didn't really like the idea of being given money. So that feels not like you liked it a lot. What about coherence? Is it believable? If I told people today, I am a knitter, welcome. Welcome to my knitting crew. We are knitters all day. Like, would that be believable? Like, no, I've never knitted in my entire life. Like, that would be uncomfortable, honestly. But those moments where you have to realize, like, Joanne's and I, we've never gotten along. I've never been in that store. I do not want to do crafts. I've always not liked stuff on my hands. I do not like that plan. But is there a plan that's like, oh yeah, I'm down. I want this. This is it. I'm liking this. The confidence is there. Coherency, believability, resources, and the last one was, there's 4.
Coherent, no.
I feel like it.
Research.
Likability,
I like it.
coherence,
Confidence.
confidence. Yeah, confidence. Well, I mean, I'm pretty confident. I'll do the craft. I don't think you're gonna like it, but you're gonna pay me for it. Like that's how I felt about those turkeys that you always had to make as a kid. I hate glue. I don't like glitter. I don't want to do any of this. And they're like, put your hand down. I was like, I don't want to do it. I have to go to the bathroom, teacher. I'm like, I'm getting out of this. And then when they started letting us glue like feathers on it, okay, I can tolerate it. I can dictate or delegate somebody else to stick it on there. But if I had to do it, if I had to touch this turkey, I'm not doing it. My mom knew that. My whole family knew that. It just wasn't. If I had to read a book about a turkey, I'm down. I'll read the book. I'm not doing the creation. It just was never for me. So knowing that was a good thing. What questions do you have about taking any of these plans further? Or any of these paths, right? Are there questions you have? How do you find resources to be better at crafting? How do you find resources to do comedy? You tap into that industry, you tap into those resources, you let them know, hey, I'm interested, I want to join your group. I want to be in that book club because I'm going to write a book one day. This is the book club I want to join. Because then I'm hoping you guys read my book. Then I'm hoping that you guys will come to my shows, right? I'm going to go to those improv classes. I'm going to build that skill. Those are the resources you tap into. Questions around it? Well, I don't know those folks yet. I don't know if I have the confidence to stand on stage. Things of that nature, right? Any questions you have about your paths? Something that comes up, we don't necessarily have to answer or Google right now to give you those responses. How will I travel? I don't even know how to buy international flights. I was so glad to do a study abroad because they did it for you. I don't know how to get to Scotland. Is it by boat? Is there a train? I have no idea. But when my study abroad signed me up, All I had to do was pay them the money. They took care of everything else. I didn't have to worry about the travel. I just had to show up on time. And I did that. How might you prototype or test out one of these experiences to understand it better? So for plan 2, if ACC absolves, how are you going to test this out? What are we doing? Are we then going to go reach out to a university? Are we going to check and see if there's sister schools that are comparable to ACC? What are some other things we're doing? Are we changing states? Well, they're gone, I'm gone too. What are we doing, right? How do we test that out? How do you test out plan 3? For me, that comedy piece, I'd have to do stand-up, right? Get my feet wet. Let's see what this looks like. Do people even laugh at me? Like, I don't know, I'm not here for that. I'm here because I said I was doing comedy, so enjoy my Joker stance. Like, that is legit how I feel about stand-up. People are like, you should do it, give it a try. And I'm like, where do my hands go? I feel like Ricky Bobby. Stop it. But yeah, how would you test out your paths?
Test out what?
Your paths, your written, any of your Odyssey plans. How do you test them out? Anything but plan 1. What's something you said you were planning to do or could do or excited to do? And how would you test that out?
Oh, I'm thinking about, because I'm going for my accounting certificate. So I'm actually thinking about furthering my education and going and getting my accounting
Degree. Fancy, Wanda. It ain't what the kids said, but yes, so if you were to try that out, what would you do? How would you test that out? What's an experience you could look for? It could be like interning. Do you even like accounting?
Well, my son.
Yes.
No, that's what she's trying to get me.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to say it for you, Wanda,
My
but.
son owns a construction company.
Mhm.
I was working for him. Long story short, I had a major neck surgery. I had to change careers. And so my son owns a construction company. He asked me if I wanted to be the books person because who else do you trust besides the mom? And I said certainly, and I worked for a while, but I didn't really have the skills to do it. Just was kind of, but anyways, so for me, it's incorporating those skills into the business.
Yeah, the real life experiences,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Now you're gonna have your certificate, then you're gonna go try for your associate's degree. So in the middle, maybe working for your son, really doing the accounting work, right?
Yes.
This time being skilled at it, as your son mentioned, yes. So yeah, like those moments where you're like, okay, well, I know I have this skill. I can do photography. I'm good at that. So now what do? How do I get my feet wet? Is it reaching out and asking, hey, can I take pictures of your family? I need portfolio pics. And you have a beautiful family. Is it reaching out to businesses and saying, hey, I want to take pictures of your retail space. I want to make this known. People don't know about this. How do we get that out there, right? How do you build that? Is it picking up marketing skills? Is it picking up social media? Picking up the phone, learning that? Or is it you putting that stuff down and really going out into the community? I know the pandemic kind of pushed us to points where we weren't able to go out anymore. And so now it's re-envisioning that, right? Reinvigorating that passion and then tapping into it. How do we make this path real? So that's all I have today. I'm eager to hear any feedback, any thoughts, whatever you guys are willing to share. We do have a little bit of time left. I was going off this loud, so I hope I'm right. Yeah, I was like, uh-oh. Yeah, what do you guys think of the worksheets?
I think it's a good thing. It really makes you think, because I never really sat down and thought about it like that.
Well, it gives you that, if we go back to that first page with the revised dashboard, you get to add that play, right? We had some play today. I get to play and think about my life in a different way. Jamie does not enjoy crafts, but she is funny. Like, these are the things I learned, and that increased that play, right? When you think of your dashboard of health and you think of work and love, like, do you want to incorporate that in your plans? Why not? Who's saying not to? Nobody, right? You're the expert. You get to decide. So pivoting and changing from there. Thoughts from Zoom? Any chats? No? Okay.
I would just say, I think it made me think a little bit. Like it really, like looking at the let's see, the first worksheet that the love play work.
Yes.
It made me like kind of not humble myself, but really like I need to take better care of myself because like looking at that dashboard, it's like there's so much that goes into one section. But it was nice, like it was nice to see like how like what I really feel, but then also doing the Odyssey planning, like it actually made me be more appreciative of what I'm working towards. Like out of all the
Yes.
plans I laid out, I was like, I actually really like this life that I'm the current, like I don't think I would want to live it any other way, but there are just a few tweaks that like, per the love play work sheet, I think there's just some things that I just need to tweak so I can continue to, like live my best life and not be burnt out or anything like that. So
Yes, 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 yes. All of that. Gratitude, that's a huge piece of it, right? I joke about work being purgatory, but it's definitely not. When I realized that I was gonna have to work, I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna enjoy my job. I'm gonna make sure my job is fun and I'm gonna make sure it's fun for the people I work with. And that is my main goal every day. If I don't send that happy Tuesday or that happy Monday, I'm not meeting my goals, right? And so when you get those emails from me, that is me just re-envisioning and reinvigorating this dashboard, because I'm gonna have play, I'm gonna have work, I'm gonna have love, and I'm gonna be healthy about it too. But yeah. And I think also I wanted to share with this one, especially, and the Odyssey planning. So COVID hit and I was supposed to go work in youth camps. Like all summer I had set up, I'm working in youth camps, I'm gonna do DoorDash or whatever to get money, but I'm gonna volunteer at these youth camps. So I was committed. When COVID hit, those camps went virtual and I was like, this is a waste. Like watch this. This life is over, I don't want that. And so I had to reframe what I wanted to do. In this dashboard, I realized I was putting a lot of work into it, but I wasn't really bringing the play or love for the job. I applied for some jobs that, let me tell you, I was just like, I hope the money's there. Like, it was not fun. They were expecting a lot of spreadsheet work, a lot of number crunching. There was a point in my life when I thought I'd be a math teacher. This was not it. And so I was not happy, but I was ready. I could do the work, right? I was, whatever, I'm gonna apply. We'll see if it's there. When I repivoted and reframed, it took about a month and a half to get hired on. And when I did that, I worked at a sister school of ours, and I really just told myself, well, this also allows me to work with youth in different ways, right? Adult learners, there is still youth in that, right? My average range on this caseload is 37 and a half. That's the age range for me, or yeah, that's the average. But I have students all the way from 20 up to, I think my oldest student is 76. So like, everyone in there can have that youth. Everyone in there deserves a little play. And so I really had to reframe and do my Odyssey planning around what that work is going to look like and how I want that work to work for me. And so I invite you guys to consider that and invite you to tap into that, right? Really assess, is this what I really want to do? Is accounting what gives me my most play? If I mess with these numbers enough, is it going to be fun? And things of that nature, right? Because it could be. There are people who love that work. And I'm like, all for it, bro. Please do my taxes. Like, I cannot. But then again, there's others like me who are like, nope, I have more play when I'm doing the charisma. If I'm out here with the kids, if I'm working with my students, if I'm able to give you guys something deeper than what you thought, or the resources. When you come out, when you connect with me and I give you those resources, that's the play for me. I love gophering. Give me something to do. Because otherwise I have to figure it out on my own, and it's not comedy. So I'm a little bummed about it. But yeah. So that's just my little soapbox. I'll step down. But yeah, that's good to hear. Gratitude came from that for you, Seneca. Anyone else? What else came for you?
So I noticed that my alternative plan number 3 is like mostly play.
Ah, yes.
And on my dashboard, my play is very low. And
How are we doing this?
So as I'm very much looking forward to becoming an oncology RN. And so I just need to take that play that I'm craving so deeply that I created an alternative world and incorporate it into my life that I currently have, because that is what I want to do.
Right.
But I also really need to play too.
Agreed. And in oncology, maybe it's you work with kids, you know, being able to re-invite that youthful play,
Right.
being able to volunteer with those folks, and then you're doing oncology for different,
Yeah.
for geriatric units, right? To be able to bring play to them. Yes, no, yeah, play with that. I love that. That's good. Plan 3 is playful. Any other feedbacks, takeaways? I don't want to take more of your time. We are there. Awesome. Well, then for folks on Zoom, I will send you this PowerPoint if you request it. Everyone else, just make sure that you're completing that survey. We are in a computer lab if you want to whip up those computers and knock out that survey. That is a part of this work. Let's see. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it and look forward to seeing more Designing Your Life in the future. In the spring semester, I'll see if I can pull something else together like this, and we'll see if that can be done in May. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you.